Every town has its local legends. Few, I expect, are as deadly as the specter haunting the false summit of Pinetail Peak. But the stories from the rare survivors kept a steady stream of pilgrims attempting to follow in their footsteps. When the local rescue team could no longer keep up with the broken bodies piling up in the couloir, the sheriff posted a deputy at the trailhead to search hikers for the contraband needed to perform the ritual. On that particular morning, it was Deputy Gloria Riggs standing by the footbridge. Even in the pale blue pre-dawn light, I could spot her camera-ready hair and makeup. More politician than peace officer. She held a chunky flashlight in one hand. The other beckoned expectant. I slipped my pack off my shoulders and passed it to her. "Any whiskey in here?" she asked as she rummaged through the bag. "No, ma'am." Ouch, thought I'd be a miss for at least another few years. I chuckled. "You're not trying to see him, are you, Max?" She knew me. Town was like that back then. "No, miss," I lied. Oh, wouldn't blame you being curious. She zipped one pocket shut and moved on to another. "My cousin gave some advice from good old Ray about 10 years back. Professor down valley at the college. I take it he wound up on the rocks?" Gloria shook her head. "Worse. He got exactly what he was looking for. Headed west with his girlfriend with a crazy dream about a catamaran. Not so much as a postcard. Sounds like Wrong Way Ray told him exactly what he needed to hear. He died at sea. Shipwrecked somewhere near the Philippines." She thrust a bag into my chest with more force than necessary. "If you do see him, take his advice with a grain of salt. He's not called Right Path Paulson, you dig?" The skin of my stomach was starting to sweat against the cheap plastic flask I'd tucked behind my belt buckle. "Thanks for the warning, but really, I'm just looking to see the sunrise." Safe hike, Max." The hike was safe, by Summit County standards, so long as you had sure footing and a good idea where you were going. Raymond Paulson had neither of those things on the day he scampered out onto a traverse nowhere and fell 500 feet to his death. According to the local weatherman, the pre-dawn fog would have kept Ray from seeing more than a foot in front of his face. But the toxicology report, combined with an empty liquor bottle found unbroken in the man's pack, led the coroner to a different, non-weather-related conclusion. All of this probably would have been written off as an accident if hikers from Caristad didn't believe in ghost stories. It turns out Ray wasn't blind, dumb, or suicidal. And he'll tell anybody who will listen. I whistled my way up the meandering switchback, bordered by the gabions and felled trees employed by the trail crew to halt the progression of erosion. Trees became bushes, then wildflowers before yielding to the petrified hay commonly found poking up between chunks of scree. Someone had stacked a pile of bigger rocks into a semicircular windbreak, wrapping around the summit survey marker. Shadowy suggestions of the surrounding peaks loomed in the limited lighting, poking above the cloud layer like islands in the sea. Sunrise would come soon. I dropped my pack, sank into the sheltered alcove, and closed my eyes. "Hey, brother." "Hey there, friend. Got anything to drink?" asked a gruff voice. My lids flew open. Sitting beside me was a stranger wearing a faded flannel shirt tucked into a well-worn pair of baby blue jeans. The mullet poking out beneath his ball cap looked a little like the fat, fluffy tail of some enormous squirrel. Wrong Way Ray, in the flesh. His question was the first step in a loosely choreographed dance, deduced through dozens of failed interactions. "Hope you like a bourbon." I passed him the tiny flask, from which he took a greedy swig. Only bourbon worked. Blake tried with gin and said the apparition spat it out before vanishing. Thanks, friend." He passed the flask back, now significantly lighter. "What brings you up here?" I shrugged. "Looking to get some clarity, you know." "Couldn't have picked a better place. Nature does that." Ray leaned back against the rock, folding his hands behind his head. "What's on your mind?" I spoke slowly, feeling every syllable. "I have an opportunity that's eating me alive. A big new job. Fancy one. Out east in New York City. Pay is great. It'd be huge for my career. Chance to make a name for myself, you know? He gave a polite nod. So what's the problem? Problem is, I'd have no friends, no family. Living in some shoebox 100 miles from the nearest real mountain. I see. You're worried you'll miss it. This. He gestured to the world around us. Nah, it's more than that. Sometimes, I think this is who I am. And wonder who I'd be if I leave. Ray folded his arms and pondered this for a moment. Can I ask, what's so great about the New York job? I mean, are you unhappy where you are? No, it's fine. I can get by. I just wonder if this would offer me more. I held out my hand like I was reaching out for a word not quite within my reach. More money? Status? Ray scoffed. It's okay to not care about stuff like that. I sure didn't. Everyone's got different priorities. Then again, I'm just a dirtbag adrenaline junkie living out of his car. At least I was before, well, you know. He chucked a stone over the edge. It clattered once, twice, and then was lost to the void. Was? He couldn't possibly mean. Do you know you're, well... A ghost, yeah. Used to really rustle my jimmies. What? Being dead. Especially when everyone thought I killed myself. He furrowed his brow. You want to know how I really died? Let me show you. He grabbed my arm with a firm hand, effortlessly pulling me to my feet and leading me towards the edge. Had I said something wrong or missed some crucial step in the scribbled journal entries? Would he throw me off? Was that what happened to the other hikers? Look out over there. He pointed out from our vantage point. I squinted, confused. In the blue-gray light, a knife's edge traverse rose and fell from below the cloud floor like a sea serpent, ending in a pointed spire. It looked a little like a rattlesnake's tail. That's Pinetail Peak. The real peak. Hard to find your way when the trail dips down into the clouds. Standing on top is like looking down from Olympus. Partner told me it was stupid to do without ropes. We didn't have any. I didn't care. I just had to see it. On the way back, I got turned around, slipped right off the edge, and... well, seems like you know the rest. Ray sniffed and wiped his nose with the back of his hand. I remember how it felt. Whose name I screamed on the way down. He cleared his throat. Still an unbeatable view, if you need to see the world from the top. I was so confused on the feel of his hand at the small of my back, I didn't realize he was waiting for a response. I looked from Ray's expectant face to the narrow path before me, leading to a spire backlit in gold. I raised one leg, about to step forward, and then paused. What was wrong with the peak I already stood on? Maybe, I stammered. Maybe I've climbed high enough. Maybe I'm okay right here. The hand against my back pulled away, taking a profound weight with it. Ray was gone, but I understood. I also understand what would have happened if I had taken the next step. But what really keeps me up at night is what Deputy Riggs told me on my way up. They don't call him Right Path Paulson, you dig? What if Ray doesn't actually advise you on your best course of action, like the legends promise? What if, instead, he helps you make peace with settling for the easier option? Forget the bodies. I wonder how many dreams died on that mountain, too. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this narration. I just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my patrons who are subscribed over at my Patreon. We have a great big thank you from me to you, Alonzo, Kozak, Icy Narrates, Jesse Hartley, Andreas Anderson London, and Geek Sanctuary. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. If you would like to support too, just check out the links in my description. And thank you again for listening. I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.